Deep introspection right now. Looks different. It's not on my other phone. Anyway, I just started working. What if I can't help but wonder if because I don't want to kiss ass, right? Like I know what I could do, and I know I could do it well, but like I guess I'm like rebelling against it because it's like I remember like I used to kiss ass when I was a kid, and it never paid off for me. Like it ended up biting me in the ass, and I guess I'm just bitter and a little resentful towards that because I don't know, on a different scale. I guess I just think, these people they put in all these years into these jobs, 20, 30, 40 years back in 2008 when the economy collapsed, and with the essentially kissing ass the whole time, their entire lives dedicated to it, only for a lot of them just to be fired before they can ever collect that pension. And to me, like, I can't even fathom like kissing ass, boot licking, brown nosing, whatever the fuck you want to call it, only to have, to receive nothing from it. Like you're essentially you become another human being's dog. You become subservient. You become less than human. So I think about that, and my first instinct is be fuck that. No fucking way. No fucking I'd rather have the respect. But damn, I wonder if like I'm just going about it the wrong way. Actually, I know I'm going about it the wrong way. I could implement it strategically, but like I almost refuse to bend to it. God, the way, let me put this story, like I said it in my last video, or in episode 48, I should say. And then bitches all the way in the other lane. It's funny because I say like a dog, right? Because how this guy treated me. Okay, so I started there in like November, early November. I worked there until, what was that? Well, now. So it was December 26th or December 27th. Anyway, I was one of the last people to close, or I was the closer, which like I'd never done before. Well, anyway, the dude was sitting there, the owner, and he was sitting there eating a meal. It's Korean barbecue. So, thank you again. Thank you. Thank you. So he's sitting there cooking some, and then he'd eat some, cook some, and then eat some. Well, anyway, so he's like, Nick, you want some of this food over here? Like I'm cooking some up, would you like some? And I'm like, I see that as an invitation, to get to know, an invitation to get to know one another. But anyway, So I accepted. That doesn't bother anyone. Oh, fuck it. So I accepted, right? I sat down with him. And immediately, like how he served me, like so we have these plates, right? So it wasn't like he gave me a plate. He had me eat off a lid off of one of the little rice containers. So I had this little thing I was eating off of, or he's eating off a plate. And like right there, like just in that move, I was turned off by it. I was like, this motherfucker does not see me as an equal. He sees me lesser than. Sat there, okay, entertained it for a second. Sat there and talked with them. Talked about, like video games, this, that, like common stuff. What he wants to do, with the restaurant, all this shit. And eventually he's like, oh, do you want some more? I was like, no, I'm good. I'm gonna go. He's like, oh, okay, well then I guess you're good to go. Until he didn't even like that. The fact that like I dismissed myself. And then ever since then, because that was it was Christmas, it was Sunday or some shit. Because I had the next day off, and then I came back on Wednesday. And his entire demeanor with me changed. Became very brash, bullish, cold shoulder, short with me, hypercritical, whatever you want to call it. And it been that way all up until I left. And instead of like what I've seen a lot of the guys do, turn bootlicker. Well, this is like that day that that Augie dude thought I was making fun of Asians or being racist, whatever. But I was talking like Project Pat, and like how Project Pat raps. He goes rip-aw, lick-aw. So I was able to put ass-kiss-aw, bootlick-aw, brown nose-aw. I was able to say all three of those things. So I just walk around and say that to all the guys that would fucking kiss fucking dude's ass. And then what's funny, dude ended up inadvertently taking my side and fucking kicking, firing that dude. So what's happening here is these little power games, right? And so the whole time, like, I just refused to cave. Like, I would slightly bend. Like, he'd come up to me, Nick, I need you to do this and this and this. I just go, okay. I didn't push back. Okay. And then, again, he'd be hypercritical, be on my ass. Like, you could tell, like, his ego was fucking driving him more than fucking the oxygen in his blood. You know what I mean? Like, he was just, you need to do this and this. I just go, okay. Do not push back. Like, just enough, submissiveness to make this guy fucking. Oh, it was pretty tense at times. And all because, like, I don't know, like, you laugh at all their jokes, you fucking applaud everything they do. Like the participation trophy thing comes to mind. Like, I just can't do it. Like, you have to, like, I'm willing to give credit where credit's due, but, like, this guy, he doesn't warrant any fucking ass kissing. Like, I'll ass kiss someone that's fucking truly elevated. And that's my fault. Like, I can't do it just for a fucking, on the off chance that I'll get a more comfortable position, because a lot of these guys that were kissing his ass would fall out of favor, and it would just be like that because the other guy would kiss his ass more, and so on and so forth, and now they're competing and da-da-da. And I'm like, that. I should have played a little smarter. I don't know. I guess I was just done. Like I honestly, I probably could have maintained what I was doing. I mean, because I thought it was over like that week, and like 2 months later, I was still there, and that's when they finally let me go. Um, but what I will say is that like, so I started operating outside the circle. You know what I mean? Like everyone would sit there and be clicky and shit. Well, I'd go around and fucking the other people, whatever, and I would create my own fucking circle. I would create my own, path, my own way, and like the one thing I started doing, like, and I did this subconsciously, like, because like I said, I would walk around, like I did the Project Path thing that was intentional, but then like I don't know, something happened, and I just went my, and man, that stuck. Half the restaurant started doing it. First it started with a couple bussers, and then like some of the kitchen staff, and then like some of the servers, and then it became a thing where you couldn't ignore. A couple customers did it, like, and I think, and like this guy, like, because he didn't even like the fact that like I was winning at rock paper scissors, because he'd have us rock paper scissors each other to leave. Well, fucking, he was even hyper competitive about that. He's like, "Oh, Nick, I'll beat you," and then he did. He's like, "Yeah," and then walked away. I'm like, "Damn, dude, this guy fucking again ego, right?" And for me, like, I try not to like tie my ego to. It's weird to tie your ego to such or seemingly innocuous things, and hmm. So anyway, like it all came back around. So what was it? I think last week. I think last Saturday. Yeah, a week before they ended up letting me go. Uh, there was some customers that were deaf, and I know the alphabet in sign language. A B C D E. F G H I J. Whatever, you get it. So it was my since high school I learned that shit. This is my first time in my life I've actually been able to implement it in my day-to-day life. And they said something, "Oh, you got tempura," and like it hasn't been tempura since I've worked there. It's always been egg rolls. So I got to spell egg rolls. I was like, A G roll. And they're like, "Oh, okay." And like the front desk saw it, and like Brian was somewhat, damn, use his name. Oh, fuck it. So Brian was somewhat impressed. And he's like, "Nick, I didn't know you know sign language." I was like, "I only know the alphabet. That way I could communicate." And so then after that, he started easing back up to me because he knew I like become a black sheep, or I became distant, whatever, an outcast. I was put in exile. I was ostracized, whatever you want to call it, marginalized. And he approached me, and like, and he started talking to me. He's like, "So Nick, do you like the UFC?" And honestly, I just never grew up watching it. I never really got into it. I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't capture my attention span like that. But uh, I was like, "No, it's not like that." And I ended up walking away, and that reignited his animosity towards me. Because I need to sit there, yeah, blah 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 blah. Because like it never stops. Like the ass kissing and the brown nosing, like they just want it to like such a degree, and like you just get so little payoff from it. But then like if you don't do it, then they fucking just let you go, and it's like, fuck, dude. Like, so I guess in my mind, in my way of thinking, I'm like, dude, I'd rather like just create my own lane. But I mean, what, I'm 33 years old, and like I've been telling this story. I don't know on which videos or or wherever else I've mentioned it, but I know with people, my ex, all this stuff, it's like this has been a major problem in my life, and I think I finally just hit a point where I'm just like I need to be more strategical about how I implement it, and primarily Um, I was actually to see a strong reflection of it, a mirror effect of it, from my recent ex, from Ari, because she would do the same thing. She didn't fucking bend or cower or fucking kiss ass or none of that shit. Like, and it like pissed me off. totally, it totally attacked my ego. Um, yeah, and I couldn't even. Almost had no control over it. Maybe because in some ways, like she thought she was, had power over me, and in some ways it was true. But then in the overall, it's like I'm the one I'm in power. So it's like this. Uh, Interesting, very interesting. So anyway, finally the night they let me go, I just couldn't hold my tongue anymore. I was under the all right. So I'm from Washington, where we have different laws, and different laws for breaks. You get like a half hour after 5 hours, and you get some other shit like that. Anyway, the point is, I came down here thinking it was federal laws, and whilst I was wrong, but technically I could and plan on swinging it in my favor. Where it's like, dude, but they have to let you take a break if you have to use the restroom, which is, you know, it's almost a cop out in an argument, but it's an argument nonetheless. Like like you have to go take a shit. They can't be like, no, you can't go take a break. And the whole thing was, I know I said it in my last video, but it's like there was adequate servers on the floor, more than enough. Because normally that's when they're like, hey, can you wait, take a break until the other servers show up, which makes sense. You know what I mean? So that's what I did. But this particular day, like it had been busy all day long. It never let up. Like it was just busy all day long. So there was never a slow time for me to like go in and take a break. And God, they were so quick to fucking fire me. I mean, with the logic that they had, because they said, "Oh, Nick, you walk around and use your phone, and then you just stand there while other people do side work." And it's like, so this is the first time you're telling me this, and you're firing me in the same. Nah, it's bullshit. It is such bullshit. There's never been any, write ups or any of that shit to like lead up to that point. Like they were just fucking shotgun affecting, fucking trying to stick something to me to justify firing me. And then finally they said, and then another thing, one of the things was like before I went on my break, he's like, yeah, Nick, you didn't help this person before you went on break and did that. I was like, yeah, I did. Like, I totally did. Or, I'm sorry, I misspoke. I was like, dude, that's not even my section. And then he's like, and then Julian's like, yeah, it's not a section. His girlfriend and another manager. He's like, oh, and I was like, oh, great, am I in trouble now? He's like, no, well, a little trouble. And then they fire me over it? They fired me over it. It's because I pushed him for a break. He got all huffy puffy about how he has his degree and he fucking took these classes and he knows the laws and da da da. And technically, well, no, technically I'm right. But, and I, oh, um, in one way he's right, but I was also right. And then he was talking about how Texas law trumps federal law, and he's precedes. He's like, it precedes. I was like, oh, do you mean supersedes? He's like, yeah, supersedes. So I'm sure that fucking took a blow to his ego, and he got all huffy and puffy and stormed off. How they do, like him and his mom are the same way in that aspect. And like his mom one time got mad because I didn't do something. She literally took a chair and started slamming it. Bam, 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 bam. I'm just like, okay. So I don't know. It's interesting. We'll see what comes of it. Um, I've been kind of in a mood, feeling a little better. I mean, I am sitting here drinking. I'm about to like listen to some Jelly Roll, and like I don't know. I feel like I just got to dip into the my emotions really quick. But but I guess to wrap this up, what I'm trying to say is like it's about I need to learn to implement, kissing ass more often. Cause like I just can't imagine like maybe 20 years is like one of the extreme. Like I couldn't ever do that, be subservient for, but maybe I can do it for a shorter period of time. But even then, it's like I don't know how I can respect myself afterwards and hold on to that part of myself that you know or hold my head up high and like and and preserve that part of myself that I hold so dear. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't know. And there's like no one to talk to about it. Like I can read these books. I do have some conversations with people. I know Ari she's pretty decent about it. Um I don't know. I guess it's just trial and error. And from here I don't know. I'll see what I can do, but I hope I didn't miss anything. I don't know. If I missed anything, I'll put it in the next video. Cuz I'm sure I'll watch this and then go back over it or go back over this and watch it. And be like, "Damn, I should have said that." But I don't know. Anyway, thanks for listening.